Hey everybody, got another video here for you. I just finished up the Gibson right there, and it's time for the next build. And the next build is going to be the Oriental version 2 version 2 of the Oriental. This is the Oriental, the original one, and I'm going to build another one. What it is that this finish with like black lacquer and the inlay stickers and stuff, I think it's a cool look. I got another one of these guys and a bunch of other ones, smaller ones. And back when I was doing the fretless, I was thinking about a black ebony tailpiece to go with the black ebony bridge that I ended up not using. And so I decided, hey, let's, kill two birds, one stone. Let's do the ebony tailpiece and bridge build and combine that with one of the Oriental builds. So that's the plan. I've got an ebony tailpiece, I've got an ebony bridge, I've got a little mini humbucker, dual rail for it. I've got some scroll work wood for it. I've got some inlay stickers for it. I got a neck. I'm not sure if I have a nut. I got tuners. I'm pretty sure I might not have strap locks, and I might not have a strap. And I've got tons of wood. Actually, I've got more wood to choose from. I've got whitewood. I've got poplar. I've got pine, and I have cedar. But since this is going to be painted, I don't want to use the the cedar, obviously, and probably don't want to use like a knotty pine or anything like that. Also, it's going to be a wider body. Those four woods that I just mentioned, I've got them in 12-inch width, so that I don't have to resort to plywood. So yeah, they'd be big enough to get a blank out of this thing. I'd show you a piece, but most of them are 8-footers and they're not handy. So, all right, let me show you some stuff. Okay, so here's the neck. It's one of these copper dot Ibanez replacement necks they have on both Amazon and eBay. Slightly less expensive on eBay. As I recall, I picked this one up off of eBay for about $45, free shipping. Took about 2 weeks for delivery. They're beautiful, beautiful necks. I've probably bought 15 of these things now. And yeah, so there's the neck. And it'll get cut down. Might actually leave that little curve right on there and sanded back. And the whole thing gets finished in black lacquer. Then let's see, got some more stuff. So this is what else I have so far. I've got the wood decorations. I've got the ebony bridge. Got the ebony tailpiece. It's really nice. It's got a little ground wire in it, and yeah, all the way down. Really nice. It was about $60 on Amazon, I think it was. Got plenty of tuners here, so I'm sure I can get a 3x3 set out of it. Have both a jack and an EQ for whichever way I want to go on that. This is the hot rail pickup wrapped in foil for some reason. It's a Fleor, so should be good stuff. And no nut. And let's see, what else does a guitar need? Since it's going to have the cutaway headstock, it won't need a truss rod cover. And got a neck. I haven't selected pickups yet. I'm thinking kind of a more shredder kind of a build for this particular version of the Oriental. So I might, oh, but wait, never mind. If you use this in the middle of the guitar, like on the previous version as a decoration, there's only room for this. So yeah, pickups are already selected. And then it's a question of, do I do an EQ or not? For a minute I was thinking, see, I've been planning to do like an X6 version with the Oriental type finish and an X13 type version as well. And for those I haven't figured out pickups yet, so got to do one with like EMGs or something cool. But I digress. So yeah, so this is what I have so far. And it looks like the next thing I need to do is go fishing and see if I can come up with a black lock nut. Which, actually I got a fighting chance of being able to do. So, we'll see what happens. Okay, so went fishing and came up with a black Floyd Rose lock nut and string retainer bar. And turns out that all those tuners I had were supposed to be, there was supposed to be 3 sets of 2x2s, but instead it was 3 sets of 4xLs. So that didn't work out so good, but I dug through all the other lightweight tuners I had and came up with a set of 3x3s. Actually came up with 2 sets of 3x3s and a set of 6xLs and a set of 6xRs. So, but yeah, there's tuners for this one, and screws for the neck, and for the pivot screw for the sway bar, and for the thumb screw for the sway bar, and it'll probably need a little off-stand post thing for the sway bar, and that's for that. And let's see, the bridge and the tailpiece and the bling and the pickup and the EQ, and over here these are the inlay stickers that I have for it so far. These are the ones for the neck, and it's the same inlay stickers that are on the original Oriental build. And then I've got this thing, which is, I don't know, something and hummingbird. I don't know, might be dogwood or something, I don't know. And then, yeah, lotus, whatever. And then this here, this is left over from another build. I might be able to use some of this, but on this one, what I want to try is, instead of just black lacquer and then inlay stickers over top, I want to try black lacquer, inlay stickers, and then clear lacquer in order to seal the stickers into the finish. And so I can use some of these extra ones here in order to test that before I actually try it on the guitar, because I'm not sure it'll work. Clear lacquer might mess up the black lacquer, or might not work with the stickers or something, so I got to test that first. So, but that's pretty much everything, I think, except for the wood. So let me see what I can do about showing you the choices in wood. Okay, this is the Select Pine in 12-inch width, and there's like 4 feet of it, so that'd make like 2 body blanks easily. So this one here is the poplar, and that's pretty stuff. And since I'm going to be painting, I don't want to use this, I don't think. I'm probably going to end up using the whitewood, tulip wood, yellow poplar. Now I'm thinking a 12-inch body, or a wide body, so I would have to glue up if I wanted to use these, but that's the knotty pine, and that's what's left of the red oak there. I've got, I don't know, about 4 foot of it. So, and this stuff here, this is the white wood or tulip wood, as they say. I believe it's yellow poplar actually, but yeah, so this is another possibility. I've got an 8-footer on this stuff, so lots of that. And this last one here, this is the cedar, and it's way too pretty to paint it black, so I think I'm going to end up using this stuff here because it's the plainest of them all. So since it's going to get painted, it doesn't really matter what the wood looks like. I would use plywood, but there's issues when you're going into it from the side with like screws and stuff and the strength of it. So, and also it doesn't look nice on the sides when because of the fact that it's plies. So I think this is probably going to be the material that I'm going to make the body out of. So as far as the shape of the body goes, you can see I've got the parts kind of laid out here. And the big challenge is this thing. Because coming off the neck immediately, you've got to go wide in order to have body underneath this thing. So you've got to have some kind of a round thing at this end. And then the other challenge is the fact that this is flat and straight. So you've got to have something flat and straight at this end for this to bolt onto. And I thought about it long and hard, and in the end I decided that I'm going to go for something kind of like that. Sort of like a scarab, but without the flat part here. This is just going to be a big old curve, and it should be flat enough there for this thing. Should be. I'll probably only end up using either 1 or 2 screws on this anyway. Might use all 3. And yeah, so it'll have to be round enough at this end. I figure I'll just make it a half circle, a little bigger than this, until about here, and then have it curve out that way, and then have a curve across the back, and that's pretty much it. Figuring out a cool way to set these 2 curves will be kind of tricky, but I'll figure something out. So yeah, that's the basic plan. And yeah, I haven't really thought ahead about like what I need to do next, so maybe I ought to do that next. I'm guessing, I suppose the next thing I ought to do is figure out how big the body blank ought to be. So I'll get to work on that, I guess. Okay, time to figure out how big a body blank I need. And in order to do that, basically I measure off some stuff. You know that from here to here it's fender scale length. So you can basically figure out how far it is from here to here. And that tells you how far from here to here your body has to be. And you add in however much you want for your heel, and then however much more you want for your tailpiece down at this end. And add it all up, and there's your length of your body from here to down here. And then, hold on a sec. If you look at this sketch here, the distance from the end of the neck down to the end of the tailpiece is about 2/3 of the total length of this body here that's been drawn out, including these points. So I figured what I could do would be I'd figure out how far this is and then add 50%, and that ought to get me right about where I want to be, and maybe add a little extra just in case. And then I can sketch out a body on like a piece of cardboard that size or something and play around with it till I get a shape I like. Okay, first dimension is the distance from the nut to the end of the fingerboard. So let's see what we got here. Survey says 495 exactly. Okay, and the overhang, which is this little bit right here. Let me get a better ruler for that. Alright, what do we got here? 6. So 495 minus 6 gives us 489 for the distance from the nut to the end of the heel. Now, the next question is, how big is this heel? This heel clocks in at about 100. So I think I'm going to give it the standard 40 by 90 triangle. Alright, so for the heel, you're going to need 90 millimeters for the heel from here back. So it'll come out to about there. Alright, scale length is 648. And from the end of the heel to the saddle line is going to be 648 minus 489. Time for a calculator. And the calculator says that the difference is 159. So 159. That puts us 159 from the end of the heel to the saddle line. 159. Which would be right there. So yeah, tight fit. That's the reason why I can, this is exactly the same setup as on the original version of the Oriental. Version A, I guess you'd call it, since it's gone through 2 revisions or whatever. But yeah, so that's whatever I said, 159, right about there. So, and there's the end of the heel, right there. So just enough room for the bling and the pickup and the bridge. And then it's a question of how much more I want to leave for this thing. And I'm thinking something about here looks good. So that would put it about there, which would be about 200 from the saddle line. Saddle line and tailpiece, 200 millimeters. And the heel's 90. So, now I gotta add it all up. Okay, so, got dirt on the pen. So here's the nut. And there's the end of the heel. And this is the end of the triangular body here. Right there. The heel for the body. And then you got a saddle line. And then the end of the tailpiece. let's see, starting here, if that's 0, then this is 90, and this is 159. Yeah, so wait a second. Okay, so this distance is 90. This distance is 159. And this distance is 200. So the overall distance is 159, 249, 449. Is that right? Where's my calculator? Yeah, that's right. So, where's that other drawing? So over here, this part of the body is going to be 449, roughly. Actually, including the heel, it's going to be 449. All the way up there. All the way up here, there'll be a heel like underneath the neck, and then the curved part. So that's 449, call it 450. We had to add another 50%. So 450 times 1.5 gives us an overall length of 675 from there to there. So, yeah. So maybe cut a blanket, I don't know. 700? Yeah, that might work. 700, and then if you're 675, then the body would look something like this. Let's see, it's like curved on this part, and then it arches kind of like that, and then about here, this is all just like one big curve. Yeah, something about like this, out of a 700 millimeter long body blank. Circular saw, I think, if I got to cut an 8-footer. I don't know, 700 looks long. 700 puts it here, all the way back here, for the end of the, actually it would come from here all the way back to here. Wait a sec, I gotta pull back even more. Okay, 700 is here. So you'd be talking a body that went, it's almost as wide as this, the wood is. So it'd come like around this curve, and then down this way, and then all the way out to here. And then a big curve that would come back around that way, and then around like that. That might be a bit much. That's adding, this much more to the end of it. It actually came out to be, 675, which would put it here instead of here. Not much difference. Maybe something that comes down more like a curved try kind of a shape. I don't know. Let me see what the scarab and the curved try templates look like laid over this. Okay, here's the scarab, and it would go about like that. And obviously this would have to come all the way down to here in like a curve to attach the tailpiece. Unless I had like, you know, just this part sticking out for the tailpiece, I suppose I could do that. Yeah, you could actually. You could just have like this part of it and then just have two big horns and then have a little centerpiece for that. Basically give it 3 spikes instead of just 2. So yeah, you could do something like that. Would be one possibility. And then this here is the curved try, and it pretty much fits right where the tailpiece needs to be, and it's just about the same size as the piece of wood I have to work with. It's a little wider actually. The piece of wood I have is probably about this wide. So maybe some sort of a combo of the two. This almost covers the curved carving. So maybe this with a little wider, and then bring these guys out, curved this way like this one is, out to about here, and then have it curved back this way, the way that one is. I don't know. That could be cool too. That could actually be very cool. Maybe I'll just do that. Make it a scarab. It would look wicked as a scarab for sure. And don't go anywhere, pick up. So if you made it a scarab like that, it would still leave all this area and all this area for like inlay stickers. And you could put the EQ like right there, would work. I suppose you can put the EQ on the tailpiece, but don't want to cover up that nice tailpiece, so yeah, maybe something like that. Just make it a scarab. Make this a little rounder at the top so that it covers underneath all the edges of this thing. Don't want it getting busted off. Yeah, I think that would do it. And then for the finish, it's all black lacquer with the inlay stickers and then clear lacquer over it, assuming that all works. As for this thing, I want to make it look good, but I don't want to spend forever painting it. And I haven't really thought of a good way to mask off the thing. And I don't want to resort to painting it by hand. So I was thinking, with the all black finish, I was thinking stain this like a blood red and then clear coat it and then put that there. So you'd have a black guitar with a red thing on it. I was thinking that might look good. Because the last version was like black lacquer and then the inlay stickers, and then it had like gold hardware and gold bling on it. And this time I'm going more for like black hardware and the ebony and stuff like that. This is a nice dark rosewood here, so I think that might actually work pretty good. I'll make it a scarab, just kind of a little bit wider to fit that other piece of wood, which means I don't need a body too terribly long. Only needs to be about 20 inches, which is 510 millimeters. So yeah, I guess I'll go with something like that. Okay, I think I've got the body figured out. I'll show you that in a minute. But now that I've got that figured out, that means that the only real question mark left is this whole putting clear lacquer over the black lacquer and the inlay stickers question. So for that, got a piece of 2x4 cut off. This happens to be spruce, I believe. And I put a piece of sandpaper on the desk and got it all flat and clean. And this is going to be my test piece. I'll squirt this with the black lacquer. I don't know how many coats it'll take. I think on the other guitar, on the first version of the Oriental, I did like 3 coats of black lacquer. But anyway, I'll squirt it with black lacquer, and then I'm going to dig up some leftover inlay stickers. I don't know what. Probably something stupid. Maybe a stupid freebie sticker or something. But it doesn't matter what the actual sticker is. It's just a matter of putting it on there and then clear coating over it and seeing what happens. Because the clear could make the black run and mess up the stickers and stuff. I don't know. Wait and see. So yeah, I'm going to squirt this. Okay, this is what I came up with for body design. Got a piece of cardboard and cut it out. Something that I could sketch it out on. Drew a center line. Drew the triangular heel onto it, and then I took the measurements that I took earlier and drew the saddle line, and then oh, and I also drew that circle in and drew a wider, another 10 millimeters outside it in order to have a little guitar, small amount of guitar body showing underneath and outside of it, and figured out how far down I wanted to come from the saddle line to where these curves ended, and put the tailpiece in, and took the scarab body blank, laid it out, measured how wide the piece of wood is, the 1x12. That's what these 2 lines out here are. And then I just kind of took the scarab and marked out where the curves started and ended and such, and stretched it out this way, and that was pretty much all there was to it. And so yeah, this is what I came up with. And if you take all the parts off, that's the shape of the body itself. Just like that. And overall length is about 505 millimeters. I might go like 510 when I cut the blank off of the board. So that's the plan. Okay, I think that's going to do it for this video. So until the next one, everybody have a good one.